That thing is, that thing is sick. I love that thing. So the coal tower is roughly 100 feet tall, and it was really popular for its time, but it really didn't last for too long. You know, after World War II, diesel locomotives became so much more popular, so there wasn't really a reason to keep, using coal. So of course, it kind of just fell out of fashion as time went on. So this thing built all the way back in 1923. This thing is over 100 years old. And so the Michigan Central Railroad, they commissioned this thing because back then it was kind of a pain to get coal into your train cars because you had to pull over and you had to take a train over there. That's what was so fantastic about this coal town specific is the train would simply just roll underneath it, and this had the capacity to deal with 4 trains at the same time. There used to be 4 tracks here, but there's only 2 now. You can't really see it from all the way down here, but this was designed by Roberts and Shader Co. of Chicago. They had commissioned, and they actually had a very interesting patent for this. It was kind of a revolutionary for a time, and it was one of the first coal towers of its time. It was very unique. It used a bucket system down there in that small little cubby. That was the hoist house, which they would have this bucket where coal cars would dump in the coal, and this bucket would take it all the way to the top before dumping it into the coal hopper, which then it would be sent down into the actual train cars themselves, which would pass by. I didn't actually listen. This didn't just dump coal, it actually dumped sand as well, and this sand would be used to be put on the train tracks to improve friction and traction during bad weather. So after the coal was lifted and taken to the top of the tower, there was actually a coal crusher at the top which would crush down the coal to make it easier to scoop in the locomotive. Though there were times when they would just have so many trains that they would just shoot the coal all the way down to the bottom. And it was actually really kind of ahead of its time because all the coal dust would be contained inside the tower, so there wouldn't be extra pollutants being spat out into the environment. And fun fact, the crusher was so compact and so well designed that it would cause no vibrations, which really helped to preserve the structure itself. Now, like I mentioned, that this tower has been sitting here for ages, but there's been no reason to get rid of it because it's not really in the way. It doesn't really do anything. There was a proposed demolition for October 27th of 2010. One was proposed, but as you can see, nothing really happened with it. But recently they have had talks of demolishing the structure. They're estimating about September of 2025. Amtrak is trying to get it down just because they're worried about falling concrete, hitting their trains, because these train lines are still used. So during the demolition process, they are going to close down this section of the railroad track and then just bus people to the next station. And now recently a change.org form was posted to try to preserve this historic piece of history here in Michigan City. But as of right now, I believe it has less than 200 signatures, but still don't know. Something could happen, but it would need a lot of repairs just to put it in it. Not even a usable state, but a state where it's not going to cause any damage. Amtrak is currently trying to get a noise ordinance exception just because they want to get it down as quick as possible in 14 days, and they'd be doing it through day and through night. So just to kind of save money, they're trying to get that passed, and they think they will. So most likely this will end up being demolished here in September, which is honestly, it's sad to see this thing go. It really towers above the surrounding landscape, and it really is a unique, fascinating part of history that in a few decades or even a century, you're not going to see these things anymore. They're obsolete. You don't need them, but they're still a remarkable piece of history that really speaks to how far we've come as a human species. It's a bit nippy out here. Is it recording?